welcome to another episode of Electrical SOS. Today I'm going to show you how to wire a plug top. Now these are the tools you're going to need today. You're going to need a flathead driver, posi driver, commonly known as a PZ2 or star point driver, and a pair of side cutters, snaps or electrical cutters. We're also using 3-core flex. This flex in particular is 2.5, and we are using a British 3-pin plug. So we're going to just take the card off here. Use our posi driver. Now you want to just loosen this centre screw off. That will allow you to take the top off the plug top and give you access to the inner parts. This is where you will loosen up each screw on the back of the pins, ensuring that they're all out. And at this stage you also want to take out the cord grip. Now you're best to fully just take this right off the back of the plug top. It saves you mucking about with it or trying to sort the length of your flex according to how much you need. Okay, so we want to start with taking about maybe start with maybe about 6 to 7 centimeters. So that'd be about there. Okay. So we're just going to take our side cutters. And all you really want to do here is just nick into it. Not much. I don't know if you can really see that. But really this, all you want to do is just tiny wee nicks. Now it doesn't look like much at the moment, but if you keep just nicking away, you'll see the core, one of the inner cores. Now this is what you want, so you just slowly kind of work your way around the flex, bending it away from where you've just snipped, and that'll start to break the outer sheath. Again, just working your way around, turning it, bending, turning, bending. It's the last cut. Just make sure you're not nicking any of the cores here. That's the main thing. Okay, so the cores are fine. There is no breaks through the copper on that, which is good, and that's exactly what you want. Okay, so now you just need to take your plug top. The best arrangement to have here is really if you have it sitting like this, so that the brown is on the right hand side, your blue is on the left hand side, and the green is on top. The reason being is that when you put this flex into the plug, there's no cables overlapping to get to where they need to go. The brown goes there, the blue turns back on itself, and the green overlaps the blue, like so. Otherwise, if you had it sitting like this, you would have the brown crossing over, the green going under, the blue going over top, and it would just be an absolute mess. So, we'll start back at the beginning, and if you just sit your flex, as you can see on the inside there, there's 2 wee grooves. You want to sit the flex just past the wee grooves, put your thumb down on it, making sure the brown's round to the right towards the live pin, and you want to move these out of your way. So as you can see. As you can see here, the brown, we'll just make a wee sort of S into there, take our fingers right up to the edge of the block and cut. After which, once that's been cut, you'll be able to take the blue cable, bend that right round on itself, so that it's basically like that. Now you just want to cut at the edge of your fingers. Once that's been cut, you want to then worry about your earth, which is the green and yellow. So we're going to take that just between there, nice wee curve in. Again, fingers to roughly where the edge of the block is, and cut. So now you're at the stage where you need to strip off the ends of your cores. Here we're going to just put that down. Now you can use your snips. It is easier to use your snips, I find it easier anyway. There are other methods to stripping the cable, but this is the most quickest and convenient way, to be really fair. Right, so you really want to just take a small amount off the end here, because these blocks aren't actually that wide, as you can see. If I take this pin completely out, the neutral pin, you can see that we only really need about that much taken from the end of the core. So put this back together and we will strip right there. And you can see there, that's about the right amount. That'll be twist. Do the same with the blue. And the same with the green and yellow, or earth. Just trim that down slightly. And give them a twist. Okay, so we're now ready to wire these into their associated terminals. We're going to start with the live, which is the shortest cable, the brown. So we're just going to just let that guide itself really in there, ensuring that all the fibres of copper have actually went in and you haven't frayed it on the outside as it was going in. Now before you tighten it up as well, you want to take a note that there is no copper showing there, and that's exactly what you want on any connections. It's good practice to always make sure that there's no copper showing. Tighten that up as much as you can. Now the problem with electricity is loose connections can cause fires. Now if a connection's loose, it causes a high resistance for the electricity, because the electricity needs to possibly jump an air gap, etc. with loose connections. So what we tend to do is make sure that the connections are tight. You don't want to overly tighten to the point where you actually thread the screw and the screw just won't tighten any further. it's always best just to make sure that you can get this as tight as possible. Should be using a flat driver here. Right. Back in. And that would then sit right in there. And before you go anywhere with the earth, you just want to make sure that you've got this tightened. I find that if you are in the middle of working on something, particularly with small items such as a plug top, and you get distracted with it could be the smallest of things. It could be your kids running around telling you that they've tripped and fell, or they're needing something to eat, or something stupid, and by the time you come back you've forgotten that you haven't tightened up one of these connections, or you've been doing something around your own house, or you've been at somebody else's house, a client's, etc. The moment that your attention has been taken astray from what you're concentrating on, it can lead to accidents. So try and remember to always tighten every connection after you, and to turn off distractions, or just to keep your attention fully on what you're doing when it comes to electricity. You need to be switched on, literally, when it comes to working with this. So now we have a finished plug top. This is what it should look like. Of course we've not got the cord grip in here, but you can see that all the cables are, by the time the cord grip is on there, there's going to be no strain on any of the conductors whatsoever. None of them are pulling, they're not stretched into their terminals. There's a nice wee loop coming in here along with the neutral, which is what you want. And by the time the cord grip is on, this is going to be nice and slack, the brown, which is going to be good, because you don't want, again, anything pulling on these terminals, any of these cables. Okay, so now we'll get the cord grip in. You want to, it's a funny shape to it. Really, you want the legs of the wee stumps. You want, I don't know if you can see that, these wee stumps here, you want that facing down, so that's over each side of the cable. You'll then put one of the screws through the bottom. Of course, catching the cord grip. And using your posi driver, just start to tighten that up. You don't want to tighten it too much at this stage, just enough just to hold it in place. And then again, stick another one through. So just tighten that up. Just make sure your flex is nice past there. And that's really what you want. Okay. So we'll just tighten up these screws. Try and tighten them up quarter turn to half a turn each until it's fully tight. You don't want to tighten them down too much on one side and then fully on the other. You can see here now that that is the plug top completed. If you give that a wee tug, that flex is not going anywhere. It is going to cause no strain on any of the connections in here if this cable ended up getting pulled, tugged, stood on, anything like that. The only thing you do need to check is that the fuse is correctly, you have the correctly rated fuse actually fitted into your plug top for the appliance of the flex you just repaired. So for example, if it was over 600 watts, you will be putting in a 13 amp fuse for good practice. If it's under 600 watts, we normally stick with a 3 amp fuse. Other than that, you just need to put the plug top back on it, and away you go. perfect plug made of. Now, in this case, obviously the other end of this has not been actually wired into anything as such, a load bearing appliance. So we will be taking this back apart, as I have kids and they will be tempted to plug this in and see what it does. But yeah, we'll start to dismantle this now. Again guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you have any suggestions, anything you want to know, any information, I'll happily help you guys out. Just leave your comments at the bottom of the page, and yeah, we'll see you again soon. Thanks.